Is the judge ready to let Barry Bonds slide? Next at 6, what she said today that could possibly cut the heart out of the prosecution's case.
Also, mass confusion in California about furloughs taking place tomorrow for thousands of state workers. Which offices will actually close?
Plus, why the battle to put out this house fire turned out to be a disastrous night for firefighters.
Either get off of our properties and get the away from us before you get hurt.
Really?
A man who claims to be a psychic lashes out at the I-Team. You'll see what made him so mad.
This is ABC 7 News at 6.
We have never stopped loving them. We have never stopped praying for them. And we were absolutely blessed beyond measure to see their pictures on Monday night.
A roller coaster of emotions for a Georgia couple who say their children were kidnapped by a relative 20 years ago and have now been located in the Bay Area.
It's an incredible story with a TV movie ending. After 2 decades, a mother and father hope to be reunited with their children, who are now adults. ABC 7's Karina Rusk is live in San Jose tonight. Karina, the parents flew in today hoping to see their kids.
Yes, and that meeting has yet to take place, Dan, but the grandfather who was living here in San Jose appeared in court today. He will be extradited to Tennessee as soon as possible and face charges there. After being a fugitive for 20 years, he was arrested after a tip. Someone overheard him in a bar talking about the abduction and complaining about the way he was portrayed in a newspaper report.
This man was living in San Jose as John Bunting. His real name is Marvin Maple, and investigators say he kidnapped his grandchildren 20 years ago. Those children were stolen from Mark and Debbie Baskin, who flew into San Jose International Airport today in hopes of a reunion.
We've prayed for them every day like they were alive, and we've asked God to watch over them and to bless them and to give them a normal life in the midst of insanity, in the midst of what they've lived through.
The ordeal started in 1989 when Debbie's parents took 8-year-old Christy and 7-year-old Bobby from their home in Tennessee. The couple brought the children to California and raised them as their own, giving them the names of Jennifer and Jonathan Bunting. On Monday, the Baskins learned their children are living in the San Jose area.
Bobby's married now, and Christy's got a nursing career, and those are just blessings because we didn't know if they would ever be able to do that or not.
Before taking the brother and sister, Marvin Maple had accused the Baskins of sexually abusing and neglecting the children. The grandparents lost an ugly custody battle when investigators say the allegations proved false, but it turned lives upside down.
Right now, we're just rejoicing in the fact that we know they're alive because my father had said he would kill them before he ever let us see them.
Police arrested Maple on Monday at his South San Jose townhouse. They say his wife died in 2006. He had numerous friends here at the Southside Cafe who all knew him as John Bunting.
I honestly believe that he thought he was doing the right thing for his grandkids. I mean, I have 2 grandkids myself, and I would trust my grandkids with him, so.
Debbie says she'll never understand what her father did, but long ago forgave him.
There's no punishment that could give us back 20 years and what they've done to us and how they've slandered us. So there's no punishment. But if I could have him restored to a whole person, that would be wonderful.
The Baskins have another hope that the children they lost 20 years ago and are now all grown up will open the door and welcome a reunion.
We haven't talked to them. We don't know if they want to meet with us at this point or not, but we want to be here.
And the Baskins will take part in a news conference tomorrow morning with local police, along with the Tennessee officer who has been working this case diligently for 20 years. Reporting live in the South Bay Bureau, Karina Rusk, ABC 7 News.
It's such an incredible story. Karina, thanks very much. Appreciate that. Well, former Giants slugger Barry Bonds made 2 federal court appearances today in the case that accuses him of lying about using steroids. His trial is supposed to start in less than a month. The questions today were about evidence the defense wants excluded. ABC 7's Heather Ishimaro has the latest.
Barry Bonds arrived at federal court in San Francisco this morning to enter a not guilty plea for the 3rd time to revised perjury charges against him. After that, at a separate hearing, Judge Susan Ilston said she's inclined to agree with Bonds' lawyers that much of the evidence against him should not be allowed in the trial.
There is no proof of a sufficient chain or linkage, or whatever term you want to use, to dignify these items with admission into evidence.
3 positive steroid tests and what appear to be doping calendars and logs are all tied directly to Bond's personal trainer, Greg Anderson. Anderson is not expected to agree to testify, and without him, that evidence usually would not be allowed in. Prosecutors weren't talking today. They're trying to find exceptions to that rule. But the judge was not swayed, saying, absent testimony, the documents are not hooked up to this case.
The prosecution in its papers said, we're relying on new theories of law. We're stretching the existing law. And I think Judge Olson said, you're not only stretching it, you're stretching it to the breaking point.
The judge says she is leaning toward allowing a secretly taped 2003 locker room recording between Anderson and Bond's former personal assistant, Steve Hoskins. Prosecutors say it shows Bonds was using steroids, but the defense says Hoskins made the tape to blackmail Bonds because he was about to be investigated for stealing from the home run king. And defense attorney Dennis Reardon told the judge that there is no greater pit of mendacity, or lying, than a men's locker room.
Our defense is that Barry Bonds is innocent. That's our defense, and we think that's the central fact of the case.
It's unclear when the judge will rule on the evidence. The trial is scheduled to begin March 2nd. Heather Ishimaru, ABC 7 News.
More news about athletes. Former 49er and Raider Dana Stubblefield is scheduled to be sentenced tomorrow for his role in the Balco steroids case. Stubblefield pleaded guilty last year to charges of lying to investigators. Under his plea agreement, the former NFL Defensive Player of the Year faces up to 6 months in jail. However, the judge, who's also hearing the Bonds case, is not bound by the agreement and could sentence Stubblefield to 5 years in prison.
The state is scrambling tonight to put the governor's work furlough order into action tomorrow. The governor said state employees have to take 2 days off a month without pay because of the budget crisis. But there's mass confusion over who is covered by the order and who isn't. Capitol correspondent Nanette Miranda has more.
As much as state workers try to stop the furloughs, they will go on. Reality has sunk in, and now many are worried because taking 2 days off a month unpaid essentially amounts to a 10% pay cut.
I'm going to have to, cut cable. I'm probably going to get rid of my home phone and just use my cell phone. These are some things that you initially do.
But there's some confusion as to which of the 238,000 state employees the governor's furlough order applies to. At SEIU Local 1000, the largest state worker union, members sorted through dozens of department memos and the governor's exception list. Still, they can't make sense of it.
Oh, I think it's extremely disruptive. You're going to have mass chaos everywhere, not only for the workers, but for the public.
This much is clear. Californians will see most state offices like the DMV closed. Unemployment centers, though, got a last-minute reprieve and will remain open. Not so clear is whether the furloughs apply to state leaders, so-called constitutional officers who are elected independent of the governor and control their own budgets. The judge who ruled last week that the furloughs could legally proceed said today those state leaders were not part of the lawsuit to stop this. What does that exactly mean?
The court ruled today that the Department of Justice and other constitutional officers like the treasurer, the controller, lieutenant governor, that these employees are not subject to the furlough.
They're still part of the executive order, and on Friday, in the first and third Friday of every month, the constitutional officers and their employees will be subject to the furloughs.
Some state workers who know for sure the furlough order applies to them insist they still have a responsibility to serve.
I'm still coming in, and we're pretty behind right now, and we're behind before the furlough started, and this is just going to push us further behind.
But you won't get paid for tomorrow.
I understand that.
For those who do have to come in, like the unemployment office, they have to take their 2 furlough days a month on different days. The governor hopes to save $1.5 billion through June 2010. In Sacramento, Nanette Miranda, ABC 7 News.
And there's this. Labor unions and environmentalists are asking the state attorney general to investigate accusations of improper conduct by lawmakers trying to forge a budget deal. The groups claim Republicans are trading votes on taxes and fees for Democratic votes to soften workplace rules and environmental regulations. Republicans say changing those rules will encourage job growth and lead to more tax revenues.
This. Every time we start to negotiate, we get beat up on TV, we get beat up on the radio, so it's not new for us. But I do think there's a little more desperation in some of the special interests out there because some of the things that they've done that have hurt California are going to have to be changed.
Democrats agree with Republicans that pressure from outside groups likely will not interfere with ongoing negotiations.
In San Francisco, firefighters are waiting for any kind of a positive word about a fellow firefighter who is in critical condition after a fire in which a roof collapsed. He and 5 other firefighters were injured in that overnight fire at a vacant home on Felton Street in San Francisco's Potrero district. Vic Lee joins us now with an update on their condition. Vic?
Well, 4 of the 5 firefighters were treated and released. The 5th is at St. Francis Hospital. He's being treated for burns. He is in stable condition, expected to be released within a couple of days. The most seriously injured firefighter is an 11-year veteran of the force. The fire department does not want his name released yet. The extreme heat was fanning toxic gases onto firefighters battling the blaze inside the house.
So just figure everything's all hot. It blows down and you have 2,000 degrees of hot air blowing right into you.
6 firefighters were taken to the hospital. Their injuries ranged from burns to smoke inhalation. The most seriously injured is fighting for his life at San Francisco General Hospital. He is listed in critical condition with major injuries to his lungs.
You know, I'm told the first 48 to 72 hours are critical in, you know, assessing how the road will go from there. But, you know, he's with family, he's with our members.
The first 911 call came in at 12:25 a.m. Neighbor Tony Samu was awakened by his cat.
Then I jumped off the bed and I seen this place here. It was an inferno. Flame, there was about 20 feet high. You know, then I called 911.
Firefighters responded 3 minutes later. The vacant 2-story house was fully engulfed by extremely hot, fast-moving flames. The fire started low. Within minutes, the blaze worked itself up to the attic. A third alarm was called 13 minutes after firefighters first arrived. By that time, 117 firefighters were battling the blaze.
About the back third of the building had collapsed into the structure, and when that did, it sent all the superheated gases and all the flames right into where the firefighters were aggressively fighting the fire in the hallway and in the front bedroom.
The arson task force is trying to determine what caused the fire. Neighbors tell ABC 7 the house was occupied by renters who had recently left.
The last couple of weeks, I saw a big debris box at the front of the house on Felton, which were there, they were cleaning the house.
And by the way, an arson investigation is routine for big fires where the cause is not obvious. And by the way, I just spoke with the Deputy Chief Gardner moments before this newscast. He said that the doctors are, in his words, optimistic about the firefighter who's here at San Francisco General Hospital, that they have stabilized his condition. But again, the next 24 to 72 hours are critical for anyone suffering from major respiratory damage or injuries. Vic Lee, ABC 7 News.
All right, Vic, well, at least there is some good news right now. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, as we continue tonight, big changes at the UC system. Up next, why thousands of students will now be eligible for a free ride. The question is, who's going to pay for it?
Tainted toys are finally being removed from the shelves. I'm Michael Finney, and coming up on 7 on your side, why now?
Live Doppler 7 HD shows just scattered remnants of the rainstorm we had earlier, but another one is on its way. I'm Spencer Christian. I'll have details in my AccuWeather forecast.
Cactus 15.9, radar contact is lost. I think he said he was going to the Hudson.
And later on, you'll hear what happened in the intense final seconds before Danville's hero pilot splash landed in the Hudson River.
For the first time ever, Grey's Anatomy, Shepard's proposing, and Private Practice.
Call 911.
Unite.
I need you to save my brother. I need you to be a God.
Live in concert.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mancini Sleep World. Live life, rest easy.
In a tough economy like this, a higher education can be even more out of reach for a lot of families. But tonight, the University of California system is reaching out, offering more young people a free ride. ABC 7's education reporter Leanne Melendez explains who is eligible and how UC can afford to do it in an era of cutbacks.
The University of California will not pick up the tuition fee for every student whose families make less than $60,000 a year. The state already does that for many. For example, UC tuition is $8,100 a year. A Cal grant pays up to $7,126 if a student attends one of the UCs.
And then we have federal and state funds in addition to those, the Pell Grants and so forth.
Still, there are a few students, nearly 1,100 of them, who qualify for grants, but who fall short of getting a full ride. Not anymore.
Every time a student pays fees to the University of California, that's educational fees and registration fees, 33% of those monies go back into the financial aid program.
Now the UC system will increase that number to 36%. That extra 3% represents $3.1 million, and that will go to help those students. So now students whose families earn less than $60,000 could attend UC for free.
We have a moral obligation, and we were created to do great research and all the rest, but to be the institution of access.
Shortly after the board approved the plan, UC Regent Jack O'Connell brought that message to seniors at San Francisco's Balboa High School. It's what Giovanni Villarreal wanted to hear.
And this really helped me out so I could have a chance and an opportunity to learn that I need to learn to be successful in life.
The plan to expand UC's financial aid program will occur in September, when a tuition increase is also likely to go into effect. In San Francisco, Leanne Melendez, ABC 7 News.
San Francisco Assemblywoman Fiona Ma is introducing a bill requiring public high schools in the city to reinstate their junior reserve officer candidate training curriculum. The school district board voted in 2006 to cancel the program, which included about 1,600 students. Opponents said the armed forces has no place in public schools, and its discrimination against gay students was unacceptable. But Ma says that is not the case.
It is an inclusive program. It does not discriminate. It teaches leadership. It teaches teamwork. And it teaches about community service. And at a time when
Ma also noted voters approved reinstating junior ROTC last fall by about 180,000 votes, and that's roughly a 55% margin.
On a Money Scope business headline, stocks improved today. The Dow Jones gained 106 points, the NASDAQ jumped 31, and the Bloomberg Silicon Valley Index rose 10. A fresh sign of trouble in the labor market. The Labor Department says there were 626,000 new claims for unemployment benefits last week. That's the highest since October of 1982. Most retailers report weak January sales as shoppers held onto their wallets pretty tightly. A couple of bright spots here. Walmart and Macy's turned in better than expected sales reports. The retail industry has posted declines since October. McClatchy, publisher of the Sacramento Bee and other papers, reports a quarterly loss of $21 million. McClatchy is struggling with debt from its purchase of the Knight Ridder chain. Remember, for complete coverage of all the day's business news, go to abc7news.com anytime you wish and click on Money Scope.
Well, you know, we've been keeping a watch on the skies, and we had a little bit of what we were hoping for, right?
Spencer's here, some rain and more to come, right?
Absolutely. We didn't get the drenching downpours we might have hoped for, but about a quarter of an inch across much of the Bay Area, up to a half inch in some of the areas harder hit by the system, and then trace amounts in other places. So
that's a start.
It's rain, and more rain is coming. Here's a live view from our high-definition East Bay camera looking westward out over the bay, and interesting sky tonight. Lots of clouds around, little breaks in the clouds as well. Not much rain falling right now. Here's a live view from our high-definition South Beach camera looking at the skyline of downtown San Francisco. It's a lovely evening and a little damp in some spots, but not very wet at the moment. But we did have some impressive rainfall totals over the last 24 hours. Santa Cruz, just about half an inch, just over 4/10 of an inch at Kentfield. Over a third of an inch in Monterey. Sonoma, just a tad above a quarter of an inch, exactly a quarter of an inch in San Rafael, and over a tenth of an inch in San Francisco. 14/100ths at Napa, 12/100ths at Pacifica, just over a tenth at Oakland, a tenth at Morgan Hill, and trace amount, lower amounts at Livermore and San Jose. This is a live Doppler 7 HD, and we still have a couple of patches of widely scattered light rainfall up in northern Sonoma County. A couple of patches of rainfall right now. Not very heavy, but again, still some moisture in the air, and some of it is actually hitting the ground. Over in the East Bay, east of Fremont, just south of Livermore, an area of more concentrated rainfall, a small area, but rainfall nonetheless, pushing out eastward into the hills right now. So these are our current temperature readings. It's basically low to mid-50s around the Bay Area at the moment, uniform readings, and these are the highlights. Increasing showers overnight, showers and possibly isolated thunderstorms on Friday and clearing on Saturday before the next wave of rain. Satellite radar composite image shows today's storm fizzling a bit and losing its punch. A second storm headed our way that'll bring us more showers tomorrow. So we'll start the forecast animation this evening and see this second storm descending from the north. By 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, the official beginning of our morning rush. We'll see wet weather spreading across parts of the Bay Area from the north to the south. Some cooler air coming down with this storm could add some instability to the atmosphere, which could produce a thunderstorm or two tomorrow. And by 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, with the evening rush, we'll still see wet weather hanging around. Meanwhile, in the Sierra, winter weather advisory is in effect. Until early Saturday morning, we're looking for about 4 to 8 inches of new snow at lake level, 8 to 12 inches above 7,000 feet. No chain requirements at the moment, but it'll probably be a good idea to take chains with you if you're headed out that way. Low temperatures here in the Bay Area tonight, not very low at all, a little on the mild side. Mid to upper 40s generally, and tomorrow's highs a little bit on the cool side again in the low to mid 50s with some showers expected, and down around Monterey Bay a similar picture, mid to upper 50s with showers expected. Here's the AccuWeather 7-day forecast, and our pattern remains unsettled. Showers tomorrow, maybe a thunderstorm or two. Dry on Saturday, starting out dry on Sunday, but more rain is likely to arrive late Sunday and continue into Monday, and then mainly dry on Tuesday with a chance of showers again next Wednesday and Thursday. We like those chances of rain. Yeah. Keep them coming. I'll have more in the next half hour.
Very good. Spencer, thank you.
Thank you. Well, she is called the coupon queen for good reason. Up next, 7 on your side shows us how much money she saved during a visit to the grocery store.
Also ahead here tonight, phase 2 of a high-profile high-rise tower is now up for sale. A bit later, we're going to look inside, show you around, and we'll take a look at whether there is still a market for expensive condos like these. The news continues.
Tomorrow at 6, a tunnel from the past making way for transportation of the future. How Marin County plans to repurpose this old relic from the railroad days. Join Dan Ashley and Carolyn Johnson tomorrow on ABC 7 News at 6.
How do you know it's time to move on?
Diamond Heart Solitaires $279. Thousands of jewelry ideas guaranteed to appraise for double. Buy Factory Direct and Save, the Jewelry Exchange in Redwood City.
It's our best field ever. It's SAP Open Tennis, February 9th to the 15th, HP Pavilion at San Jose. Get tickets at the HP Pavilion ticket office or online at Ticketmaster.com.
A federal judge upholds a ban on a toxic chemical in children's toys and various products.
7 on your side's Michael Finney has that, plus some helpful money-saving tips.
Yeah, we got quite a bit going on today. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of toys will have to be removed from store shelves by Tuesday. That's when a ban on toys and other children's products made with phthalates takes effect. The plastics softener has been linked to reproductive problems and cancer. The Consumer Product Safety Commission had tried to allow the sale of the banned products beyond Tuesday as long as the products were, pardon me, actually manufactured before that date. But the Natural Resources Defense Council and Public Citizen argued against that loophole. And today, a federal judge in New York agreed.
Kids are always playing with toys. They put them in their mouths. There's a lot of exposure for kids when they're playing with toys. And since we're talking about these chemicals in toys and can affect their development, it's really important that we keep it out of children's hands and we make toys safe for them.
Buying toys that...
Avi Carr of the NRDC says parents will no longer have to guess if a product contains phthalates before buying it. Leading Democrats in a related story are calling on President Obama to remove the head of the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Nancy Nord was appointed acting commissioner by President Bush in 2005, and her term doesn't expire until 2012. But the chairs of the Senate and House committees overseeing the CPSC say Mr. Obama shouldn't wait to replace her. They say she has fallen short in protecting children from products containing lead and, as we just reported, phthalates. Attempts to reach the commissioner for comment have been unsuccessful. Most of you probably use a coupon now and then to save a few cents, but chances are you aren't saving as much as a coupon queen. Angie Childs goes to the supermarket with portable filing cabinets filled with coupons. Check that out. She orders 6 Sunday papers a week and browses coupon websites. On this day, she bought $220 worth of groceries for $19. And that's nothing compared to what she did in November when she ended up getting money back taking advantage of double coupon day.
It was 107% savings, $81.17. Paid me $3.94. It is like playing the lottery and winning every time.
Angie tells us that 2-for-1 offers can also be very lucrative. Now, if you have money-saving tips you want to share with us, or if you have a consumer problem I can help you out with, go to our website at abc7news.com. On the left-hand side of the screen, click 7 on your side. Whew, the coupons look like a lot of work, doesn't it?
Yeah, but she's saving money, so I guess it's worth it,
Big
huh?
time, yeah.
Got to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, still come here tonight on ABC 7 News at 6. The I-Team risks getting a gypsy curse to investigate the suspected shady dealings of an East Bay psychic.
Also, making their case on the Senate floor. Find out if lawmakers are getting close to a deal on an economic stimulus package.
And Bay Area victims of accused swindler Bernard Madoff talk for the first time about the scandal and the dramatic impact it's had on their lives. Another half hour of news in a moment.
Fascinating beauty secrets from around the globe. The place where big butts and stretch marks make you sexier. There's a place for us. Next, Oprah.
Tomorrow at 4 here on ABC 7.
View for the Bay tomorrow at 3 on ABC 7.
This is ABC 7 News at 6:30.
A psychic from San Mateo County appears in court tomorrow facing charges of elder theft.
Janet Adams was arrested right in the middle of an I-Team investigation in December. She pleaded not guilty, and that story prompted a lot more tips.
Dan Noyes is here with the latest. What a story this is.
Well, Cheryl and Dan, you know, those tips led us to other psychics around the Bay Area. They all seem to use the same technique. You have a curse on you or some bad energy, and only they can help it go away. At a price. All sorts of people fall for this, some losing 6 figures. This Okland psychic goes by the name of Anthony.
Hey, Anthony, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. I'm Dan.
Just Anthony.
I don't like to use a last name.
Like Fabio or Cher or...
Yeah, it's more of a privacy thing.
He's quite pleasant when you first meet him. Anthony will explain his special talent as a palm and tarot card reader who can see the future.
Is this real? It is. It's 99.9% accuracy on all of our readings.
But if you dare to ask serious questions about what he tells clients in his 2 psychic shops, watch out.
Either get off of our properties and get the away from us before you get hurt.
Really? How so, Anthony? What could have gotten him so angry? I'm going to get hurt? How so?
Come inside and I'll show you.
It's this secret recording. A rival family of psychics hired a private eye who sent in a decoy to document Anthony's techniques.
My husband is very ill. He's not expected to live.
The decoy says her husband has colon cancer, but Anthony sees something else in his tarot cards.
The sickness that your husband has is not cancer. It's something on a spiritual level that has been sent towards him. It's something that has to do with the spiritual path that he's followed. And yes, it is curable.
With his help, Anthony says the cancer can be gone in 2 to 3 months. He urges the decoy to come back later. When she does, she meets Anthony's associate, Gina, who proposes a way to get rid of the cancer.
And I have to sculpture him. Me and Anthony will have to sculpture him.
She and Anthony will build a wax candle, a life-sized replica of the decoy's husband. Set it on a mountaintop and light it. By the time the candle burns down, the cancer will be gone.
And how fast can we do this?
In 7 days. You understand?
So in 7 days, he'll be all the way better?
All the way better.
Then, of course, there's the issue of payment.
What you're going to need is about $5,000.
Okay.
Is that any way that you could do this?
The decoy didn't pay.
Put those on.
We played the secret recording for Anthony after he told us on camera that he can't cure cancer, would never disagree with a doctor's diagnosis, and would never charge a client more than $70. Explain that.
I have no comment on it.
Anthony ended the interview. Is this all about helping people or about taking people's money?
Have a nice day.
He could only hold back his temper for so long.
Oh, you're a son of a mother. Get the out of my businesses.
Anthony put what he called a gypsy curse on me and said, "You're going to die."
I'm on the sidewalk.
out of my business.
Gypsy curses are something of a badge of honor among law enforcement professionals who investigate psychics.
I have several curses on me, and I'm still here, yes. When they put a curse on me, that means I've been successful.
Kathy Boyevich is an undercover investigator for the Alameda County DA's office who's met many psychics over the past 15 years, and she's found all sorts of people who fall victim to these scams, even the most educated.
If somebody robs a bank, they walk in with a gun and they hold everybody up. These people found out they don't have to use weapons. They use their words, and it works. And it works actually more successfully than robbing a bank.
Patricia Carpenter knows firsthand. She was going through a career change, was worried about her daughter's divorce. So she went to Madam Vivian in Hollister. She thought, what's the harm?
Before I left, she asked for $400, wrote her a $400 check. Oh, well, she said, I can help you with your problems, you know, and I can make your life better.
Madam Vivian kept demanding more money. The psychic told Carpenter the important work would end if she stopped paying, and that harm would come to her granddaughter.
I'm disappointed, and I'm feeling, you know, foolish, and I'm feeling like a big dope. And as you will see in those statements, my bank account quickly got emptied out.
That first few $100s turned into checks for $2,000, $6,000, $9,000, even $14,800. In all, Carpenter paid Madam Vivian more than $130,000.
As a sociologist, I'm not surprised. I don't think any of us are really above superstitious belief or being conned by con artists, especially really smart ones who are really clever with their tactics.
UC Berkeley sociologist Rob Willer says no one likes to admit a mistake, so victims of psychics often continue paying. And psychics use proven techniques, such as keeping the initial amount low.
The tough thing is getting that first payment. But once you've gotten that, it's much easier to get people to agree to follow-ups that are larger and larger in size.
We wanted answers from Madam Vivian, real name Bunny Ann John, so we went to her home office in Hollister. She was happy to meet a new customer, an I-Team producer, but she wouldn't open the door for a reporter and a photographer. Business is apparently going well. We spotted 2 brand new cars in Madam Vivian's driveway. Later, her attorney called the I-Team and declined an on-camera interview. He then defended Madam Vivian accepting money from clients, comparing her business to a religion. People pay hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to spiritual causes all over the world. Madam Vivian, a spiritual cause? What do you think?
I would like to see her never do this to anybody again. I would like to see her in jail, and I would like to have, ultimately it would be wonderful if I could get my money back somehow, but I think it's horrible what happens to them, and it affects them for life. It affects them emotionally, their ability to trust. It affects them financially. Financially, a lot of them are never able to recover what they've lost.
After our calls, the Santa Clara County DA's office is now investigating Madam Vivian. No charges have been filed at this point. By the way, Anthony the psychic's real name is Peter George. He has a family connection to a well-known group of psychics with a serious criminal record. I run that down for you in a new I-Team blog at abc7news.com. We found no information, by the way, that George has been convicted of anything.
Does have a temper, though.
Yeah, he does.
Thank you, Dan. More to come. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Back to more news now. The Senate is working into the night right now to reach an agreement on a massive economic stimulus bill. The proposal has grown to $920 billion. Moderates from both parties met privately throughout the day, trying to cut out about $80 billion. They're hoping that will draw more Republican support. But back on the Senate floor, partisan tensions boiled over.
Look at this bill. This bill has got to be done by tonight. And we're figuring out as we go what's in it.
Holding up a bill, theatrical. Did you ever do that when George Bush was president and he sent down a bill twice as big as that?
I have been on this floor many times arguing with the past administration about policies I disagreed with. I don't recall you doing that a lot.
Well, the Senate has defeated several alternate plans, including one by Senator John McCain that call for bigger tax cuts and far less spending.
President Obama's nominee for CIA director made it very clear this afternoon that this administration will treat terror suspects differently. Confirmation hearings began today for former South Bay Congressman Leon Panetta. He told senators that terror suspects will not be sent to other countries for torture. But he says the U.S. still has the right to debrief such people. Panetta also told the senators that CIA interrogators who used torture techniques with the permission of the White House should not be prosecuted now. The Monterey native could be confirmed by the end of the week.
President Obama's pick for Labor Secretary Hilda Solis has become the latest nominee to face questions about unpaid taxes. Today, the Senate panel considering her nomination abruptly postponed a scheduled confirmation vote. That postponement follows revelations that Solis' husband settled tax liens on his California auto repair business that had been outstanding for as long as 16 years. The White House insists Solis' own tax returns are in order and that she is not a partner in her husband's business.
You know, it's not just the rich and famous who are customers of accused swindler Bernie Madoff. A bankruptcy court in New York has released the full list of names now, and on it, more than 130 Bay Area residents and businesses that invested money with a man who now faces charges of fraud. ABC 7's Carolyn Tyler reports.
Elizabeth Ennis is an artist in Berkeley. She and her husband, Mark Rosenberg, are trying to downsize their lives after losing their entire savings.
We lost about $500,000 and all of Mark's IRA, and it was most of the income we were living on.
Ennis says her father began investing with Bernie Madoff in the 1970s, and the rest of the family then put their money and trust in him too. Madoff was arrested in New York in December, accused of operating a Ponzi scam that took money from new investors to pay off previous ones. Prosecutors say it's a fraud that could run as high as $50 billion. The newly released list of those who say they've been swindled runs 162 pages, about 80 names per page, and includes celebrities like actor Kevin Bacon and Hall of Fame pitcher Sandy Koufax, but many are small investors.
It seemed like a good investment.
Stephen Faulk is a retired educator from Okland. He lost more than $300,000 to Madoff. Faulk says he's a little put off by people who say he should have known better.
That's the easiest thing in the world to know after something doesn't go right. But nobody was really, there wasn't any big voice saying that before, nor was the government indicating anything that we should be careful of this.
The government's investor protection agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, is now under intense scrutiny from Congress for failing to uncover the scandal. Investors have filed claims against Madoff, but it's unclear if they'll ever recoup any money. Carolyn Tyler, ABC 7 News.
And we have more ahead, including an amazing exchange. You're going to hear what Danville's hero pilot said to air traffic controllers.
Calm in a crisis as he landed his disabled jet on the Hudson River. You'll hear it in a moment.
Can you keep a secret about this Jeopardy clue?
She commanded Samson, "Tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth."
Let your hair down and watch Jeopardy.
Tonight at 7, here on ABC 7.
That's the money you could be saving.
Accountability to ensure local administrators spend the money in the classroom. Smaller class sizes improve student achievement. Tell your lawmakers, ending the class size reduction program won't save California one dime. It only hurts our kids.
Starting February 9th, while these contestants strike it rich,
Wheel could be sending you and your Valentine to Hawaii.
you could win a romantic trip to the Big Island with Wheel's second honeymoon sweepstakes. Now that's love.
Wheel of Fortune, tonight at 7:30, here on ABC 7.
U.S. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is recovering tonight from pancreatic cancer surgery. The court says doctors apparently found a tiny tumor in Ginsburg at an early stage. The 76-year-old justice had the surgery in New York today. She's expected to remain in the hospital for 7 to 10 days. She was treated for colon cancer in 1999. Ginsburg is the second woman to serve on the Supreme Court and the only one now ever since Sandra Day O'Connor retired.
You're about to hear the definition of cool in a crisis. The Federal Aviation Administration released audio tapes today of Danville pilot Sully Sullenberger calmly talking to air traffic controllers before landing the plane in the Hudson River last month. The air controller tried to arrange for the U.S. Airways flight to land at New Jersey's Teterboro Airport after a flock of birds disabled both engines. Listen.
This is Cactus 1539. Hit birds. We've lost thrust on both engines returning back towards LaGuardia.
Okay, you need to return to LaGuardia. Turn left heading up 220. Cactus 15.9, runway 4 is available if you want to make left traffic to runway 4.
80, I'm not sure we're making any runway. What's over to our right? Anything in New Jersey, maybe Teterboro?
Okay, yeah, off your right side is Teterboro Airport. Do you want to try to go to Teterboro?
Yes.
Cactus 1529, turn right 280, you can land runway 1 at Teterboro.
We can't do it.
Okay, which runway would you like at Teterboro?
We're going to be in the Hudson.
Incredible. Those were Sullenberger's last words before putting the plane down safely in the water. Everyone got out unhurt. Seriously.
Yeah, amazing. Well, still ahead, it is not blowing over.
It is not. Coming up in sports, the new fallout from Michael Phelps' marijuana pipe controversy in a moment.
Tonight on ABC 7 at 8, Ugly Betty. At 9, Grey's Anatomy. Private Practice at 10. Then at 11, watch ABC 7 News.
8. That's how many credit cards the average person has in their wallet. 8 different cards. Bank cards.
For Employee Pricing Plus Plus and get driving, America.
Is alcohol or drug dependency turning you into a shadow of the person you want to be? Call Mountain Vista Farm at 1-800-300-6716 now. Mountain Vista Farm is the place where you need to be.
The housing crisis and recession is not stopping another condominium tower from opening in San Francisco. It's a fancy one. Developers will open Tower 2 of the Infinity this weekend. Our Wayne Friedman got a sneak peek today and shows us how even the luxury condo market is actually taking a financial hit.
In a down market, here is the pinnacle of upside optimism.
This building isn't about hitting a particular cycle.
At least not when asking $6 million for a 3,000 square foot penthouse. When developers conceived the Infinity Towers a decade ago, high-rise luxury condos seemed like a can't-miss proposition. But this sector of the market has dropped 15 to 20% in the past year. So as a minimum asking price of $900,000 at $600 a square foot, a bargain?
You're buying close to the water, you're buying close to downtown, and construction costs have come up so significantly that before anything else gets built, values will need to come up dramatically.
A luxury condo these days includes a pool, a workout room, and in this building, seismically sound knee-to-ceiling windows. In fact, developers began selling the views here long before they even existed by creating a condominium mock-up.
This is like a set. It is. We put a lot of money into it.
During a media tour today, Infinity told us they've sold 20 units in the past month and 2 this week. The architect describes this design as having a curved aquatic theme.
I like for this building is the right thing to do. It's next to the bay, and it's like a wave. Yes.
While upstairs, but closer to Earth, the 1,200 people who actually built it have begun looking for their next big projects. Randy Publitz, a plumber, is one of them.
If you can survive 2009, next year I think it's going to pick up again.
And those are high hopes from a high-rise condo. In San Francisco, Wayne Friedman, ABC 7 News.
It is impressive.
Oh, they look pretty.
Yeah.
Time for sports.
Yeah. Larry is here.
I was wondering if I could put a bid in on the set, because I could afford the set. I think I can afford the backdrop. The fake view is okay with me.
Try.
Yeah. In the wake of the Michael Phelps photo of him smoking a marijuana pipe, we now have video of Raiders running back Justin Fargas in a group of buddies promoting a marijuana smoke-a-thon.
I'm at my guy Jay Favre house from the Raiders, man. It only goes down when yuck at the house. Exactly.
The star of the video is an Okland rapper known as Yuck Mouth, who is visiting Fargas's house in this video. You see bags and bags of pot. We should point out that Fargas is never seen so much as even touching the marijuana, but something tells me this is not the image the NFL is trying to promote. The Raiders had no comment on the video, which has since been taken down from Yuck Mouth's website. Yuck Mouth not available for comment. Michael Phelps was suspended from competition for 3 months by USA Swimming, just lost his endorsement deal with Kellogg's, which said the swimmer's behavior is not consistent with Kellogg's image. The Olympic swimming star was photographed smoking from the marijuana pipe. Phelps has apologized. He described it as bad judgment. He talked about the incident for the first time today.
Michael Phelps, what were you thinking?
Obviously not much, and you know, it's, I mean, like I said, a bad judgment, and you know, I can learn from it and try to make my life better than it has been in the past. You know, like I said, I've made mistakes, and you know, I have to learn with I have to live with every mistake that I've learned.
Somewhere Al Davis is laughing tonight, saying, "I told you so." Ex-Raiders coach Lane Kiffin already making friends in the Southeast Conference. He's been reprimanded by the SEC for claiming that Florida coach Urban Meyer was cheating and illegally recruiting receiver Newcast Richardson.
But as Newcast was here on campus, his phone keeps ringing. And so one of our coaches is sitting in a meeting with him. He says, "Who's that?" And he looks at the phone and says, "Urban Meyer." Okay? Just so you know, when a recruit's on another campus, you can't call a recruit on another campus. But I love the fact that Urban had to cheat and still didn't get him.
Oops, wrong. Meyer immediately demanded an apology. He got one with Kiffin saying he got carried away. Meyer didn't break any rules with the phone call. The player, by the way, ended up signing with Kiffin and his Vols of Tennessee. Tiger Woods is still rehabbing his knee, so he's not playing the Buick Invitational this week. That is just fine with Camilo Villegas, who said he was glad he won't have to contend with the best player on the planet. Round one at Torrey Pines in San Diego. Phil Mickelson, his hometown, missed the cut last week, has a new driver this week, but the irons need some work. Approach on one, skips over the green left. He did save par, shot a 2 under 70. Villegas started birdie, eagle, birdie, never looked back. Matches his career best with a 9 under par 63, leader by 3 after round one.
All right, Larry, thanks very much.
All right, little rain today, kind of a taste of what's to come.
All right, Spencer.
Well, there's still a little rain around right now. On Live Doppler 7 HD, you can see light rain scattered across, I mean, really light, parts of Sonoma and Napa counties, some headed out towards the Central Valley, and some off the coastline here of Mendocino County, about to move onshore in the next few hours or so. So this is our next batch of rain coming our way, and we'll see some more wet weather tomorrow. In the early morning hours, we'll see clouds and showers around. It looks like it could be a wet commute for some of us. Noon, showers continuing, and on into the afternoon with some sunny breaks during the day. And here is the AccuWeather 7-day forecast. So another wet day tomorrow with the chance of a couple of thunderstorms, isolated ones. Dry on Saturday, dry early Sunday, but more rain arrives late Sunday, continues into Monday, possibly into Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, a chance of more showers.
Happy to see it.
So yeah, we'll take them in small batches. That's okay.
Thanks.
All right, stay with us. We'll be back in just a minute.
ABC 7 listens. Your stories, your neighborhoods. Join us February 11th at the Hercules Library, and together we'll get results.
At 1-800-DENTIST, we operate with one simple premise. If you love your dentist, you'll go consistently. And that means you'll look better, be healthier, and in the long run, save money by avoiding
Flat's paying off all the time for all Cash Club members.
Oh, thank you, Flash Jackpot.
It's what I do, make you rich in a flash. Flash Jackpots, saving the day all day, every day at Cash Creek. Play here, play the best.
Time and temperature brought to you by Cash Creek Casino Resorts.
Tonight at 9/8 Central.
Addison.
Derek, I need you.
For the first time ever, 2 of television's biggest dramas, Grey's Anatomy,
Shepard's proposing,
and Private Practice,
Call 911.
unite for an unprecedented 2-hour event.
I will not watch my brother die. I need you to save him. I need you to be a god.
ABC's Grey's Anatomy Private Practice crossover event begins tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Join me tonight at 9 o'clock on Coffee TV 20. That's cable channel 13. Coming up then, Bill Gates knows how to get someone's attention when he wants to. The stunt he pulled that got a crowd buzzing. Then at 11 here on ABC 7, newly released documents about the Southern California mother of octuplets. See you tonight at 9, then again at 11 o'clock.
All right, now though, a big celebration in Oakland tonight. The historic Fox Oakland Theater open again for business once again.
Okay. Yeah.
The ribbon cutting was held just a few minutes ago. We just got this tape in, and the big fundraising gala is sold out. You know, when the theater first opened in the late 1920s, it was regarded as one of the finest anywhere on the West Coast.
And now that it's been renovated after 2 years of work, the Fox will host live concerts again. It is also the new home of the Oakland School for the Arts.
Take advantage of it. It's just beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
All right, well, that is this edition of ABC 7 News. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate your time. I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Cheryl Jennings. Thanks for inviting us into your homes tonight.
Have a terrific evening for Larry, Spencer, and all of us. Stay connected 24/7 at abc7news.com. See you at 9 and 11.
ABC 7 News, the Bay Area's #1 newscast at 6 p.m.
Metro PCS has the